Just start out by telling me what were your impressions the first day you came to work here at PSE&G.
Okay, Maureen, this is your first tour of PSE&G.
I was just overwhelmed. I'd never been in a power generating station. I never even knew they existed. I remember just the size of it, and the people that were walking me around telling me so many different things I couldn't even comprehend. I knew power came from somewhere, but I never really thought about it. It just baffled me. I didn't think I'd ever understand it. But after 3 or 6 weeks, here I am, an equipment operator.
Like this stuff.
Explain the program to you children.
I've been having a problem with this back burner. How many houses you got to do still today?
Okay, Tom, the customer's got one like dead, so why don't we check over here?
In the beginning, after the first 6 months or so, you work with another guy, with an experienced man. But basically, outside of that, you're on your own because I think what they want you to do is develop your own individual habits and solve problems for yourself.
For the new employee coming into the company, the best advice that I could offer would be to come in with a positive attitude and a good work ethic. Do your job, work hard, and I have every belief that you would be successful.
Increasingly, the kinds of economic forces that are acting on us are more like a competitive environment rather than the old regulated environment. That represents a significant change from the utility business we've all grown up with for 20 or 25 years. But this company is in really a good position right now to posture ourselves properly for the future. Today and tomorrow, more importantly, in an environment where things are changing faster, it's going to be important that we can make decisions and respond and act much more quickly than in the past.
Station manager is responsible for the operation and maintenance of the equipment, has responsibility, single point accountability for all of the issues and items that concern that particular location. We are responsible for generating electricity. That is our main function.
A technical supervisor is responsible for a number of different areas.
On a daily basis, we monitor all the fuel delivered to the station and all the fuel burned by the units, as well as tracking all the generation that we produce, and we report the efficiency on both of our units.
A technical supervisor can also get involved with our demineralized water plant.
The water that goes into a steam boiler is actually more pure than any water you ever drink.
We are, in essence, a wholesaler supplier of electricity to our transmission people. The transmission department is our broker. They broker the electricity that we make.
We're in every phase of development, and in our case, the customers are the other employees who are requesting a program. You do get to see something from beginning to end, and you get to see the end result, and you get to see somebody use it.
In the technical support department, you go from buying a whole system down to nut and bolts, buying every little thing, and making sure everything's there so you can try to meet your schedule. It's not that the field has a dozen people waiting to do work and you forgot some connectors or something.
My job basically entails the planning function in a distribution facility. What we're involved with is providing electric service to our customers. And to get that service to them, you have to operate, maintain, and design and build new power circuits to handle all the new business.
The atomic reactor at Hope Creek uses uranium fuel rods. My job is to supervise the loading and changing of these rods. My goal is to maximize steam output, therefore maximizing electric power. So once a week, sometimes once a day, we adjust the rods a little differently to heat the reactor at peak output. It's just like tuning the motor in your car. That's what I do. I tune this atomic reactor.
I am public service.
Okay, this is the one.
I fix anything that burns gas. Well, I see anything like from a range to a dryer to a stove, a furnace, and a water heater, anything. You have to be able to just like get to the bottom of the problem and just figure it out. You have to be able to deal with all people. Some people are going to bite your head off when you get to their house. Other people are going to be happy to see you.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
May I help
Well,
you?
I wait on customers every day, and my job is more than a service rep, really, because sometimes you really get involved because you have the senior citizens coming in who are basically lonely, and by the time they leave out, you're on a first-name basis, Harry and Betty.
Inspection is almost essential.
We're straight shooters. If we've made a mistake, we own up to it. Now, with our core values and the positive approach that the company is trying to portray to the public, we will actually go out of our way. If liability is established early on, we will do everything to not inconvenience our customer, make them aware of our position, and do whatever we can do to remedy the situation, and of course, with the company's interest at heart.
We've been trying to anticipate the changes and adapt our organization for the changes. Consequently, we have to work to change some regulations and change legislation that will allow us to be more competitive in the future.
These are those changes.
We do the review of the accounting. We make sure that we comply with regulatory accounts, which is totally different than normal accounting that's taught in school. And we provide that to the general accounting department, and then they implement it.
What do you want it to do this December?
All right.
How about you show me what you want it to do?
Okay, this December, we want the Social Security number.
You spend 8 hours or more a day here.
We want the employee
if you
number
take pride
here.
in your job, you're going to
We
be a
want
happier
the
person.
RC number.
Alan, when do you need this by?
We need to get this information out to the
Watch what's
employees
going
by the middle of
on.
January.
You know, again, get a perspective, get a feel for what you're doing and where it fits in, and why you're doing it. After you're there a while, you know, you can have some valuable input to the process.
What happens when you've been on a roof for as long as I have been, you've seen kids grow, you've seen the good times and the bad times of individual families. So there is connection there. And it's amazing how attached you get to the people.
He's in 3rd grade right now.
And number one, I think it helps the image of PSE&G because it would be very easy to do a very quick job to run in and out of the house and just read the meters. So I incorporated this whole thing of reading meters with my basic philosophy. Number one is to be happy.
There you go, yeah. It's a great high, it's a great kick when that instructor comes back and says, hey, that employee, that new one really caught on. Boy, I've really got a winner here. Because you know you're involved in creating that. It's more complicated now to run a generating station than the technology that sent astronauts into space with the first space project.
You have to be able to motivate people. You have to be able to bring out the good and the qualities in the people working for you. And that is by far the biggest challenge that I have with my job.
The department that I work with is always asking me to, how can they improve my career goals? If I would like to take any training courses, if I need any new software equipment that I'd like to learn, whatever I need to help me get along and to learn, all I have to do is ask my manager, and she's pretty good.
There's a lot of physical work here. It's kind of hard at first. And some people still don't think women should work here. But after, I don't want to say proving myself, but that's basically what I had to do. I decided to show them that I could do the same job. Meanwhile, the other guys kept saying, let me do it, let me do it. And then you just have to say, no, I can do it, and then just do it.
Some guys call me sweetie and dear. Certain people would kind of like bust your chops, but I think I expected more than I actually got.
Well, I feel, as far as the company treating minorities, black women, I have not had any problem.
They'll treat you fairly based on what you do, regardless of race, color, or anything else. If you do a good job, they'll recognize it.
I wasn't born in this country. Coming into the country and coming into the company from a different background, so to speak, I feel that you have to make things happen for you. to not take things for granted, to go out there and grab the opportunities.
I'm Irish. I was probably lucky to get in because at one time you had to be Polish to get into public service, you know. Things have changed.
We've been running field studies down here since 1968, before they even started construction of the plant. So when PSE&G first came into the region, there was very few osprey. They had been wiped out by the DDT. The numbers were quite low. Some of the towers you can float right up to at high tide. To get the data, you have to climb up the tower above the level of the nest. Some of these nests are on the top cross member, which is about 60 feet up. But you climb up above it, and then you can look down into the nest and count the number of eggs or the number of young. Over the years, the population has been increasing. This past year, there was actually an eagle nest, a successful eagle nest within 10 miles of the plant.
Public service sends people around to school, I guess kindergarten up to maybe the 8th grade, let's say. They go around and they'll have meetings with the children and explain exactly what child watch is. And if there is a problem, whether they're lost or they feel they're being followed by somebody or somebody's approaching them or somebody's harassing them, if they see a public service vehicle, they can go to that vehicle and have what we call a safe haven. We have radio communication, we'll get in touch with somebody, the police will come over, and it's worked out very, very well.
Good question.
Now, I do think it's important that our employees realize that the utility business of today is not what it was 10 years ago or 20 years ago. In order for our company to be successful, our employees secure and have opportunities, I think we have to adopt maybe a different type of philosophy than we had when we were a monopolistic electric and gas company, because we no longer are. We no longer are.
We are not at where we should be with respect to the core values. And I think that, things are changing, the management are interested in getting there. When I first started, I had no idea what the goals of the company were. I had no idea what the goals even of my managers were. But now, this year, we've sent a copy of the transmission business plan to every single employee in transmission. And that sends a signal that means we want you to be concerned with where the company is going.
I look back at one particular instance with Markel Paper when they went to cogeneration. We lost millions of dollars based on that. And the effect that that's had on our daily operation is that we're more aware of competitiveness, and that makes us want to serve our customers a lot better.
The people at Linden Generating Station feel the heat of the competition a lot more than some of the other people do. With the changes in the regulations, the Exxon refinery next door has decided that they would like to purchase their steam, which we presently supply, from a third-party cogenerator.
We're slowly changing, and people are slowly accepting the fact we need to become competitive. We can no longer sit back and not be responsible for our job, our work, the quality of it.
This corporation is in a transition state right now into a new corporation. We're headed into the 90s to become the premier utility in the Northeast. We're trying to become more of a customer service organization.
These area lights that you put in for us. Oh, really does the whole building. That was a good idea. All our equipment comes right into this room, and we're going to have a computer.
Maybe with a little extra service.
And I just want to thank you again for helping me.
Or a little extra individual attention, maybe we can make a difference.
The method that your company does of having an account executive is very important, because it allows somebody like myself to focus on you, and then you can focus on your masses, you know?
It really does them a world of good to know that there's somebody on the other end of the public service line that they can call, and even if they want to just talk, you're there to listen and to make a difference if you can.
All right, we're doing just fine.
Okay, route 631 is being selected. 41 remaining. What's the problem? Okay, we have feed pumps first, so it means the plant's going to go up. Mark level. Level's dropping. Reactor operator, take the motor switch to shutdown. Shut down. Low 3 reactor, scram. Low 3 reactor, scram. Inserted. We're into OPEO's Easy 100 scram procedure.
We work very, very well together, and yes, we are a team. And there's no room to operate in any other way.
I have to work along with the company in forming a better company, a better service. That's what we're here for, to give a service, a product to the people.
Cheryl, hi Cindy. I've got the client satisfaction survey ready. If you're not happy where you are, what you're doing, make the best of it. Learn something new. Set some personal goals. Develop a network. I believe we all get to the place in our lives and in our work where we fit as far as personality, skill level, and what we like to do. I'm not ready for the next step yet, but maybe 6 months from now I will be, and I'll know it, but I'll be ready for it.